We have 3 stories from the world of Reddit to share with you, each one containing elements of heartache, betrayal, and a lack of trust. One guy refuses to see the writing on the wall when his girlfriend starts spending a lot of time with a guy friend. If you're ready for today's stories, get yourself a coffee and grab a bowl of popcorn so we can get into it.
I took a break so I could prepare for some very competitive exams last year, and my boyfriend cheated on me. He really liked the other girl, and they went out several times, talked all the time, and maybe even had sex, although he denies it. He decided to hide it from me and refused to break up because he didn't want to ruin my exam prep. The other girl got frustrated and finally called me and told me that they've been pseudo-dating and have actually had sex. I decided to not believe her and stayed with my boyfriend, who was literally crying his eyes out, begging me not to break up with him. Since then, things have been great, but there are things that still irk me. He didn't delete her messages and photos, and when I confronted him about this, he tried to justify it. And he still acts nervous if I pick up his phone for anything. If he goes to their common friend's place, she shows up. I told him to not go there without me, because I could act as a deterrent, and I'd feel much more reassured. But he refuses to do so, and still goes out to party with them. He's clearly lost sexual interest in me. We are having sex, but it's very mechanical, and I don't remember the last time he initiated it. He's also picked up a few habits like smoking and using Snapchat. I'm not even sure if he's been lying to me since the incident. Even though I had my doubts, I'd already been with him for 5 years when I found all this out. Still, it was a major break of trust. I come from a broken family with a similar cheating history, a drunk and abusive dad. I feel like the only reason I don't have the guts to leave him is because of trauma bonding. I don't know any better.
When OP said taking a break, I'm going to assume that she meant just spending time alone, not taking a break from the relationship. It seems like OP's boyfriend's doing very little to regain her trust and is probably sticking around because he's confident she won't leave. How much a couple has sex will change over time. Sometimes it'll be more, sometimes it'll be less. That said, if you notice a change in your partner's approach to sex, don't ignore it. Honestly, OP's partner's lucky that she gave him another chance after betraying her trust. If anything, he should be going out of his way to make her feel secure. Even though this relationship's gone on for a while, I can't imagine it getting any better for OP. To be honest, I see things becoming more painful. Anyway, now that you've heard what I have to say, let's see how things went down in the comments.
Small Fox says, "Break up with him, he's not worth your time." Normally, these situations have more parts to them, which is why I don't normally just flat out say that, but this dude doesn't respect your time. Also, think about it like this. Think about that guy who's head over heels in love with you, but you don't feel the same way. Nonetheless, the attention's validating enough to where it's not completely terrible. You're literally that guy to your boyfriend. Not only that, but he's playing you like a fiddle. I assure you he's still sleeping with her while getting validation from you. He's benefiting either way. Zandandito says, "He's stringing you along. He's keeping you around just in case his fling with the other girl falters. You're his backup choice. Dump him. If you can leave now, do so while he's at one of these parties. Grab everything and just leave. Block him and go somewhere safe. Maybe to a friend or family member you trust. If you can kick him out while he's at one of these parties, box up his stuff, block him, and change the locks. Make sure to have a friend over for when he inevitably comes back, drunk off his ass and tries to do something stupid. Then call the cops and use the police report and get a temporary restraining order." That's just my 2 cents.
It's in OP's best interest to get out of whatever this relationship is, so she can find someone more suitable. You never want to be with someone who's not enthusiastic or invested in the relationship. Life's far too short for that. While you're here, you should find someone who'll love, care, support, and respect you.
Me and my girlfriend decided early on in our long-distance relationship that we wouldn't be accepting messages or follow requests from people we don't know on social media. We decided to do this because these types of things can easily lead to cheating, and we're both very possessive of each other. For an entire year, we both let each other know whenever we received a friend request, follow request, or message from people we don't know, and we both never confirmed such requests or responded to their messages. Even though we agreed on all this, our relationship took a major hit when I was put in a situation that made her think I was cheating. I wasn't cheating, but the optics weren't good. That's all I can share. She was extremely bothered by this, despite my efforts to convince her that I wasn't cheating or leaving her for someone else. Our relationship was also suffering because our families didn't approve of us being together. There was a lot of stress. Our relationship was strained for 2.5 months because of this, and I then found out that she confirmed a friend request on Facebook from a guy she didn't know. When I confronted her about this, she said she was sorry and that it was a mistake. However, when I asked her why she did it, she didn't have an answer. I know she's got a terrible memory, but I don't think that's a valid excuse for why she can't give me an answer. I think the obvious answer would just be, because I wanted to get back at you after I thought you were cheating on me. That's the first strike. After this incident, our relationship got even more strained, and we had more fights and arguments. She started blocking me and then unblocking me whenever she wanted to send me a message. She also turned off her last seen, so I wouldn't know when she was online. She became more unavailable and talked to me less, and when I confronted her, she said it was her way of dealing with the stress of everything going on between us. I think this is a load of crap, and that she's cheating on me and talking to other guys on social media. What's your take on this?
I was on board with how OP and his partner manage their social media. Social media ruins relationships every day because it makes people too accessible. That said, the way OP and his partner deal with conflict in their relationship is very childish. Blocking and unblocking your partner is something I expect teenagers to do, not fully grown adults. To add more fuel to the fire, doing things that you know will raise suspicion in your partner is a nonsensical way to fix whatever issues you're having. It seems pretty clear to me that OP and his partner have some serious problems when it comes to how they communicate. It's hard to say for sure whether OP's partner is seeing someone else, but as far as I can tell, it's not a good look. Let's dive into the comments to see what's happening.
Mina says, "You're both immature and long-distance relationships suck, which in return just foster your immature behavior, insecurities, and controlling behavior. Just move on." The Better or Worse says, "Just ghost her. You're both not good for each other. You're both too possessive and controlling. Besides, long-distance relationships mostly end badly. Do yourself a favor and block the cheater everywhere and leave."
I think long-distance relationships can work, but for as long as a couple is long-distance, they have to put more effort into their relationship and how they communicate. It's not going to work if after a fight you just ghost your partner, because for however long you're not physically with each other, all you have are your words.
Me and my girlfriend have been together for almost 9 months. She's got a ton of red flags, but I'm super in love with her. About 3 months into the relationship, I had her phone in my hands and she grabbed it really fast. I started overthinking, so went into her phone later that night. I found out that she sent some guy a naughty picture, so I confronted her about it. She started crying and said that she needs to clear her head and that she's in a relationship, so doesn't need attention from other guys. For some time, there were no issues, but I still kept overthinking. A few months go by, and I go into her phone again. That's when I found out that she went to the gym with some guy she met there. They had scheduled a workout together. I think she should respect me enough to at least tell me about this, or tell the guy that her boyfriend wouldn't be okay with whatever they're doing. We argued about that. About 2 weeks ago, I was doing a night shift, and she texted me saying that she's sleepy and going to bed. The thing is, we share our locations, and when I looked, I saw that she was in town. After about an hour, I left work and confronted her. She told me that she didn't want me to be sad, so she lied to me. The guy, let's call him Michael, was one of her male friends. She had a few guy friends, and to be fair, she told me all about them before we got together. She told me that she'd still hang out with them if we get together, because she's known them for years. Still, because of all her lies, we broke up. It was very emotional, we cried a lot, and spoke about how we probably aren't right for each other. We didn't see each other for 3 days, and during this time, I was thinking a lot. Eventually, I made the decision to work things out with her, so we got back together. I concluded that I was just overthinking. We talked a lot about this, but I promised to trust her more, and she promised to tell me about where she is and who she's going with. Well, this brings us to the present day. I was sitting in the kitchen after another night shift, and she told me a few days prior that she was going out with Michael and some of his friends after her shift. Keep in mind that her shift was ending at 1 a.m. She sent me a message, letting me know that she was heading out and that she'll talk to me later. Sometime around 3:30, she texted me, saying that she's about to go home. This was the last message I got from her. I got home at 6:30 and she wasn't there, so I called her twice, and there was no answer. She texted me that she's all right and will come home in about 40 minutes. To cut a long story short, she met with Michael and his friends and got wasted. She knew it wasn't a good idea to drive home, so she went to Michael's apartment along with some other guys. She fell asleep until I called her. Keep in mind, she didn't tell me about any of this. Her last message to me was at 3:30. Now she's at home, not making a deal of it, saying that this is how she was before we got together. She's known Michael for about 4 years, and they've gone to a lot of parties together, but she says that nothing has ever happened between them. This might be true, but I just want her to respect me. I'm too mentally weak to leave her, since she basically did nothing wrong, such as actually cheating on me. I just don't know what to do or how to deal with it.
While OP doesn't have absolute proof that his partner cheated on him, she doesn't behave like someone who's ready to commit to a relationship. When you're building a life with someone, you can't just do whatever you want, whenever you want. You have to take your partner's feelings into consideration. Getting drunk and sleeping over at another guy's house is a recipe for disaster. Even if she didn't cheat on OP this time around, if this behavior keeps up, how long will it be before something does happen? While some people think men and women can be friends, I'm a bit more skeptical. During my short time here on Earth, I've seen too much to be convinced otherwise. OP's partner said that nothing has happened between her and Michael, but honestly, there's no reason for OP to believe that. People lie about this sort of thing all the time, and it's very hard to prove otherwise, so it's much better to pay attention to how someone behaves rather than what they say. Let's see if anyone in the comments agrees.
Cargolet says, "Sorry to say, but she did a lot wrong already. She lied, disrespected you, has a male friend, parties without you, and slept at another man's apartment. While I understand that you love her, you have to accept that she doesn't love you. You're her safety net until she finds someone better. Be a man, grow some balls, and leave her. Focus on yourself. Hit the gym, get a hobby, study, focus on your business, whatever you like. Forget her, block her, ghost her. You will find better." Express Actuary says, "She's been sleeping with him the whole time. I'd bet my life on that. You can stay with her, knowing in your gut that she's cheating, or you can be a man and do what you know you should do. There's a reason God gave us a gut feeling. It guides us through life. If your gut tells you something, always listen or pay the price."
I think the best thing for OP is to find someone he's more compatible with, someone who doesn't come with as many risks as his current partner. Relationships are tough enough. At the very least, you should avoid adding all these unknown factors. It's important to be with someone you trust, someone who respects you, and someone who'll take you into consideration whenever they decide to do something. I hope you enjoyed today's episode of Coffee and Popcorn, and I can't wait to see you on the next one.